Good morning to one and all. Today we will discuss second chapter of Transportation Engineering 1. This second chapter entirely comprises of this highway geometric design. That means the different parts of the highway. That means different parts means in the roads and other systems we are having different kinds of parts. Those parts we need to design by using these different geometric principles. All those can be included in the second chapter. In the first chapter previously we described about different kinds of road plans and how the roads are developed in the India, and a classification of different kinds of roads based upon atmosphere and depending upon the traffic densities and others. Those roads can be designed by using these geometrical principles we will discuss in this second chapter. Okay, first of all we need to introduce the topic geometric design. That means the geometric design of a highway. It deals with mainly dimensions and layout of visible features of the highway such as horizontal and vertical alignments and sight distances and intersections. First of all, this geometric design of highway mainly deals with dimensions. That means the length of the road. That means along the x-axis what we are having a length, along the y-axis what we have the breadth. Those lengths and the breadths mainly we deals. After that length and breadth we will deal with this layout of the visible features. That means what is the layout of that particular road. Is this a circular pattern or trapezoidal pattern or semicircular pattern? We need to see the layout of the road. For suppose it is a interconnecting between two states, what is the layout between those two states? For suppose it is other district roads, interconnection between two cities, like that we need to observe different kinds of layouts what we have and what we implemented on that particular place. That is a topographical view. And next one, highways such as horizontal and vertical alignments. That means horizontal alignment and vertical alignment. Along the length we are having horizontal, and along the breadth we are having vertical. Both length and breadth we are having different kinds of alignments depending upon the soil strata and other conditions. Those things also we need to design depending upon the slope and lengths. Those things depends. And next two main conditions are these sight distances. That means sight distance. మన తెలుగులో మనకి ఏమంటారంటే ఎదురొచ్చే వెహికల్స్ని మనం చూస్తూ ఉంటాం, ఎంత లెంత్లో మనకి కనిపిస్తుంది, ఎంత విత్లో మనకి కనిపిస్తుంది. దోస్ థింగ్స్ ఆర్ డిస్కస్డ్ విత్ ద హెల్ప్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ సైట్ డిస్టెన్స్. దట్ మీన్స్ ద ఇన్ ఫ్రంట్ ఆఫ్ వెహికల్ ఫర్ the distance between two vehicles, how much distance required to observe the in front of vehicle while we are traveling in a particular road. That means front vehicles and back vehicles we observed with the help of mirrors arranged in two wheelers and four wheelers and lorries others also. Those mirrors are useful to observe different kinds of vehicles what we are going on besides. Those things useful in the help of side distances. Next one, intersections. That means intersections means mainly combination of different kinds of that, not combination, intersection means that means two or more roads are connecting at a particular point. Those points are called as intersections. That means at a particular point we are having more than two to n number of roads. Those are called intersections. At that particular intersection, so we need to provide different kinds of arrangements to avoid accidents and other collisions, and we need to do some cause of precautionary measures to avoid traffics and other obstructions which are faced nearby the intersections. And next one, in geometrics of highway should be designed to provide the efficiency of traffic operations with maximum safety and reasonable cost. This and second point entirely expresses about these intersections. That means in the highway we have to design a provided efficiency in the traffic. That means maximum efficiency. Efficiency means if we designed a particular road for 100 vehicles, that means the 100 vehicles should travel in a smooth way. That means no one of the vehicle, that means ఒక వెహికల్ కూడా మనకి ఎటువంటి డిస్టర్బెన్స్ అనేది రాకుండా మనం డిజైన్ చేయాలి. That tells this point. Efficiency of the traffic. Next one is the operations and maximum safety at a reasonable cost. That means operations, that means a small and minute operations like repairs and other rehabilitations of different kinds of works, and at a particular safety. That means this safety purpose mainly observes in terms of bridges and other purposes. Whenever we are having a national highway is provided with a particular span of bridge of 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers. For that span of bridge we need to repair for a particular period of time, like for every 6 months and 3 months we need to inspect the bridge. What is the present condition of that bridge? Is there any cracks or any deflection occurred in the particular span? We need to observe those. And is there any vegetation? Is there any vegetation growth on that particular bridge? That means మనకి చిన్న చిన్న మొక్కలు అలాంటివి పక్కన బ్రిడ్జెస్ మీద వాటి మీద ఏదో మొలుస్తూ ఉంటాయి. We need to control those vegetation, because if the vegetation is lies on the structure, the entire structure under damage. That means if they goes on in the structure, that means the roots are penetrating into the structure. That means huge amount of damage can be occurred due to this vegetative growth above the structure and below the structure also. Sometimes in our buildings and others, the nearby we need to provide some kind of vegetation nearby the structures. Those roots are penetrates below the footings, so that the entire building in a damage conditions. So that we need to avoid those kind of damages by providing a nearby distance of 10 to 15 feet to the structure, depending upon its importance of the structures. All those comes under this geometrics and other primitives. That means measures we need to taken for the construction in kind of geometries. And next one, geometric design of highway mainly deals with the following elements. So that means in this geometric part of a particular highway or any other project mainly deals with these kind of operations. So these 5 operations. First operation is the cross section elements. That means how many roads are collecting at that particular points, and how many points are there in a particular span of length. Those things we need to observe. Those are cross section elements. For suppose if we are laying a national highway, along the national highway we are having national highways, means mainly we are focusing to connect different capitals of a states. That means like NH7 we are having. Those NH7 means the connecting places are Kolkata to Chennai. Kolkata to Chennai means nearly we are having more than 2000 to 3000 kilometers. In those span of length we are having different major cities like Vijayawada, Guntur, like Hyderabad and others. And in our Telangana, Andhra, like Odisha. After that Odisha we are having Assam. After that we are having Kolkata. In between those Kolkata and Chennai we are having huge amount of cities. We need to interconnect those cities with other roads, so that by interconnecting different kinds of roads we are having these cross section elements. Okay, we need to face those cross section elements like that. Next one, side distance consideration. Side distance consideration means to avoid different kinds of collisions between different kinds of vehicles, with two-wheeler to two-wheeler, or two-wheeler to four-wheeler, or four-wheeler to long span vehicles like these buses and other transporting vehicles like lorries and other containers are traveling mainly on these national highways. We need to avoid those kind of crossings. We need to mainly focus on these site distance considerations. To consider these side distances, we need to provide different kinds of lengths for particular span of roads. Those are also comes under these side distance considerations. Next one, horizontal alignment details. That means horizontal alignment details in a particular span of road. What is the horizontal alignment? For suppose one way traffic is there, for that particular one way traffic, what is the horizontal alignment? what is the slope we are providing there, what is the minimum length we are providing there, is there any passages, that means passage means that road to another village we are having any passages, all those things have to kept with respect of this horizontal alignment details. Similarly, next point is vertical alignment details. Is there any crossings above the ground level? We need to pass with these vertical alignments. Both these horizontal and vertical alignments comes nearly at the points of these cross sections. Next one, intersection elements. Intersection means roads are merging. That means roads are dividing and roads are merging. That means in the cross sections roads are dividing with one to another, but in case of intersections the roads are merging. That means from a village to highway we are merging different kinds of roads. That means normally on highways we are having both entry and exit gradients. At the entry gradients we are having these cross sections, at the exit gradients we are having intersections. Likewise we are having different kinds of these cross sectional elements and intersectional elements. We need to consider those things also in the designing of these national highways in the part of geometrics. Okay, this is the second slide. After that we will go for different kinds of elements. In the previous one we are having totally 5, that means A, B, C, D, E. In those 5 things we are having a different sub criterias. This is the major criterias for designing a highway with geometric rules. For those, one is cross sectional elements, side distance, horizontal alignment details, vertical alignment details, and intersection. For those everyone we are having these sub criterias. We need to remember also those things, also remembers, considers. First one is the pavement surface characteristics. At that particular cross section points we need to observe the pavement surface characteristics. That means if the surface is so smooth there is no brakes to the vehicles. That means when we are applying a particular brake on particular road, there is slipping occurs on particular pavements due to these heavy, smooth and other characteristics. So that we need to mainly focus on pavement surface characteristics. If the pavement is so hard, the vehicle is under control. If the pavement is so smooth, the vehicle is not in our control. So that pavement surface takes a major role when our vehicle, when we are applying a brake to the vehicle. Next one, width of the pavement or carriageway. This width and width of the pavement or carriageway both are similarly anonyms. So that width of the pavement means if the road having different number of carriageways, that means one way lines, two way lines, three way lines. In the previous slides we will observe those one way lines, two way lines. Width of the pavement and carriageway both having different importance factors because of to avoid these kind of accidents at particular cross sectional elements. So for suppose if there is a cross section of one lane with a double lane road, that means the double lane entirely converting into a single lane, we need to mainly focus on that points. That means two lanes are converting into single lane, that means a huge number of traffic is following into a single lane. That means we need to have major conflicts point at that particular cross sections. So that is comes under this width of the pavements and carriageway. Next one is a cross slope or camber. This is a major point, cross slope or camber. In so many villages in other particular points we are having a huge amount of accidental zones. Those zones are indirectly because of this cross slope or camber. Without having this camber, that means the centripetal and centrifugal forces more likely to act on the vehicles, and the vehicle is is not in our control while we are applying a brakes or any other controlling measures while we are traveling on those cross slopes and other things. So that we need to provide a particular amount of cross slope. This cross slope entirely depends upon the particular length of the arc or radius. That means if you are following in a particular circular patterns, while we are traveling in a particular circular patterns, uh, centripetal and centrifugal forces are acting on a particular vehicle or any other part. So that we need to avoid those centripetal and centrifugal forces, we need to provide a particular amount of these cambers. Mainly we are observed in races, so that the vehicle is sliding and moves on in a huge amount of speeds. Particularly in bike races and car races, we are having plenty of these cambers on high speed roads. So they are called these cambers because of to control the particular vehicle and friction at a particular speed with the road. We need to provide these cambers and slopes. And next one is a median or traffic separator. These medians means we will observe on national highways. That means the entirely road having a different lengths, and the road is divided into different number of parts with a white line. That means white line, those are called these meridians and traffic separators. And next one, curbs. Curbs means besides at the end point of the road we provide curb. And next one, road margins. And the road margins and medians and traffic separators also comes under these road margins. That means if there is a no divider on that particular road, we need to bifurcate the road by using different kinds of road margins, like by using these yellow color paints. Mainly we divide the entire road into road margins. And next, width of formation. Whenever we are having a intersection of different kinds of road, definitely we have to follow this width of formation of road, on which width we need to move. Okay, all those are comes under these cross sectional elements. Once again I will discuss. First one is the pavement surface characteristics. These pavement surface characteristics mainly focused on the type of pavement we are using, and the friction between tire and pavement also depends upon this pavement surface characteristics. Next one is the width of the pavement or carriageway. Width of the pavements means different kinds of pavements we need to maintain different kinds of distances depending upon those material characteristics and other properties of materials we are using for a particular road and carriageways. This comes under this width of the pavement, and kind of vehicles are traveling on those particular places and areas. In the previous also we explained that in the national highways we are having a huge number of vehicles like containers, lorries and other buses traveling. But in case of rural roads we are having a huge density with two-wheelers and three-wheelers and other bullock carts and tractors. Like that, different kinds of roads having different traffics, major traffics, so that we need to design the particular width depending upon the carrier vehicles going on that particular roads. Those comes under this width of the pavements. And third one, cross slope or camber. That cross slope means mainly these cross slopes were observed in racing tracks. Okay, these cross slopes had to maintain to contract the centrifugal forces. Next one, meridian or traffic separator. Traffic separator means exactly at cross sections to control the traffic to one lane to another lane, we need to meridiate different kinds of separators by junctional points and others. Next one, capes. These capes are normally allotted at the end of the road to denote this is the end point of the road. After that we don't have to travel, because the surface characteristics has to be changed to normal road to mud road, so that the vehicle didn't bear different kinds of pressures and others, so that there is a chance to get accidents. So we need to provide particular capes at the end of the road, and road margins we need to maintain for different lanes of the vehicles. And next, width of the formation. Okay, all those things comes under this cross section of elements. Once again we will illuminate with these diagrams. Okay, if there is any diagram, we are having a better imagination power. If there is we are having imagination power, better understanding and communication between the tutor and the students. That means who are teaching the lesson and listening the lectures, both are having a good communication skills while we are listening with these kind of images. First of all, this we need to observe different kinds of technical terms for the particular road. Till now you are not dealt this subject. This is the first time you are dealing, so that whenever you goes on the road, this is the particular point I remembered using these kind of diagrams, that means these kind of pictures. First of all, the black, entirely thick black surface, we are having a cross slope. That means normally land is like that, and we are having cross slope. At the center level we are having a higher point, and at end points we are having low. That means this is the place to contract the drainage. That means no stacking of water, particularly in the season of rainy seasons. In the rainy seasons, okay, this is the cross slope maintained in a particular road. And second, on the cross slope we are having a traveled way. That means this traveled way is mainly for opponent vehicles. So when we are going on one side of vehicle, opponent vehicle also comes near to the vehicle, though this traveled way is for going vehicles and coming vehicles, both for this. And next one, on the top of the traveled vehicles we are having this roadway with the help of these shoulders on both sides. That means whenever we are having a problem with our vehicles, so if there is a tire puncture or any other disturbances come in the vehicle, we need to separate the vehicle from the road to these shoulders, so that other vehicles will move easily without any traffic disturbances. So that these shoulders are mainly placed at major points of the roads. And next, after the shoulder we are having a hinge points on both sides, so that after the hinge point we will move, definitely we are facing different kinds of slidings with our vehicles, so that we don't have to move beside the hinge point. Normally at the points of these hinges we are having these curbs and others. In the fifth kite one we are having capes. Majorly these capes are held at these shoulder points. Okay, after that shoulder point is over, we are having side slopes. That means the whatever the water or any other matter comes on the road, those will move by using this natural slope maintained for that roads, and moves into the side slope. And side slopes we are having different kinds of small passages for like canals and others for water moving purpose. Okay, on the besides of roads we are normally we are maintaining a particular amount of greenery. That means to relieve the drivers and other utility vehicles while they are traveling for a particular period of time for 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, this is the different kinds of the part road sections. In the below also we are having 2 points. First one, hinge point. That means whenever there is a hinge point, that means a complete change of particular slope. And next one, clear zone. We are having clear zone. That means that area along the side of the traveled way, including the shoulder, that is available for recovery of any errant vehicle. That means whenever there is a errant vehicle, means whenever there is a disturbance in our vehicle, like tire failure or any other engine failures are like that, we need to kept our vehicle in a clear zone, so that there is no disturbance to the other pedestrians or any vehicles or any other purposes. Okay, this is the clear cut image showing different parts of the roads and different proportions of the roads. Okay, next one we will go for pavement surface characteristics. That means pavement surface characteristics. In the cross section elements, first point is a pavement surface characteristics that we will discuss here. The main point of this pavement surface characteristics is friction. If there is a proper friction on that particular road, there will be a smooth journey to the vehicles, and there will be a application of brakes on that particular road. If there is no friction, no brakes to the vehicle, simply we are having to collide with n number of vehicles while we are traveling on those particular roads. Next one, unevenness. That means there is no proper level on that particular road. Simply this unevenness we will observe on mud roads. That means ఎత్తు పల్లాలు అంటాం, గుంతలు గుంతలుగా ఉన్న రోడ్. That గుంతల road is called as unevenness of the particular road. Next, third one is the light reflecting characteristics. If there is any light reflecting, normally in summer seasons, a huge number of temperature and other light properties we will observe on that particular road. So that means whenever there is a sun rays falling on that road, that those rays are directly reflect back to our eyes, so that front vehicles and back vehicles do not observe due to this light reflecting characteristics for particular roads due to the material properties mainly we are using and surface characteristics. Those surface characteristics mainly depends upon those material properties. So that light reflecting characteristics also majorly deals on this pavement characteristics. Next one, drainage of surface water. That means in the previous slide we are having a slope on the first point, cross slope, because of to eliminate this water on the surface of the road. That means better drainage characteristics we need to maintain for any kind of roads for their lifespan, improve the lifespan. Next one is the width of the pavement or carriageway. In those width of the pavement or carriageway, total width of the road vehicles are allowed to move. That means in this slide we are having cross slope, that is the total width of the road. In the total width, beside the width we are having shoulders. This is the point we are dealing here. The width of the pavement depends upon the width of the traffic lane or number of lanes. That means number of lanes. In the previous slide so many times we were discussing this number of lanes, so that these lanes means we are having national highways with n number of lanes depending upon the traffic density. If the traffic density is more, we need to construct more number of lanes depending upon hourly traffic demand. These hourly traffic demand mainly we measures with number of vehicles traveled at a particular span of time. Number of vehicles traveling for a particular span of time, so that hourly traffic we will measure, and according to those traffic density we will construct the n number of lanes depending upon the type of road and type of city. Okay, this entirely comes under this width of the pavement and traffic lanes. The minimum width of the single lane road is 3.5 meters. That means 3.5 meters means 3 meters means nearly 10 feet. That means 11 point something, 11 above 11 feet one lane of the road. And the next second point is the width of the lane is decided based upon the maximum width of the heavy commercial vehicles on which legally permitted to use on the roadway. This point also we dealt in the previous, so that different kinds of roads having a different kinds of vehicles traveling. As previously we discussed, national highways one mode of vehicles are journeying, in villages one kind of vehicles are journeying, in the normal rural roads and other important roads we are having other mode of vehicles, so that we need to design a particular road depending upon the vehicle traveling on those road, mainly focus on which kind of vehicles are traveling on those particular road. We need to focus on kind of vehicles and we need to prepare according to the kinds of vehicles traveling on those particular vehicles. If there is a heavy commercial vehicles, that means HCV, heavy commercial vehicle, you need to remember in terms of this transportation engineering knowledge point of view, we need to memorize some kind of abbreviations. So those kind of abbreviations will be useful whenever we are writing any competitive exams and others, like APPSC and these Sachivalayam exams and other groups also. So we need to memorize these. HCV means heavy commercial vehicles. Next, containers also we are having, heavy load containing vehicles also. HCV means commercial vehicles, means commercial and transportation vehicles. We need to remember those also, legally permitted on those particular roadways. Normally in our municipal areas we are not having permit to lorries and others. Like that, different kinds of vehicles having different permissions. Based upon those permission levels, we need to construct the width of the pavement and thickness of the pavements. These things comes under this second one. This is the example for that explanation. Normally in the edges of the road we are having a white paint to show that the end of the road is here, so that they are marking with white one. In the meridian, that means in the middle point, they are having this yellow coat. That means this yellow coat represents there is one line for going, one lane for coming. Okay, this is the simply example for the two-lane two-way road. That means two lanes are here and two-way, that means not one way. One way means simply for any going or coming vehicles, only one particular mode of transportation is doing on that particular road, so that is one way we are calling. In the two way means both coming vehicles and going vehicles are takes place in the particular road. This is a typical example for the particular road. Next one, we are having middle road, and we are having edges, we are having shoulders and pavement edges. This is the normal vehicle, we are having 3.5 meters as previously I discussed, but because we are having 3.75 meters, that means some amount of distance are meant for side 625 and 625. We have to face those 625 means 2.5 meters is the normal distance between two wheels and other also. So beside when we overcome that particular vehicle, we need to go on a two-wheeler. So on that particular road, we are having a front with lorry or any other mode of vehicle transporting in front of two-wheeler. We need to overcome the particular vehicle with the help of these side lines. They are mentioning for particularly to overcome those vehicles. It is a typical diagram for single lane road. For double lane roads and triple lane roads, they are simply keeping 3.5 meters. If by seeing this picture, you have a better idea of a road and these lengths they are keeping why. So in this second diagram, you are having a better knowledge by seeing these two vehicles which are having a medium distance and side distances. Okay, and in this second road, this is two-lane road. In the two-lane road, we are having 7 meters of span, but in case of single lane road, we are having 3.75 meters. That means two lane means 3.5 into 2 comes out 7 meters, but in case of single lane road, here we are having 0.25 meters extra. That means because of this this side distance and this side distance, we are having plus. Here we are having two lane road with 7 meters. That means 3.5 into 2, we will get 7 meters, and distance between two adjacent vehicles is 1 meter, and normal vehicle distance is 2.5 meters, 2.5 meters. That means 5 meters, 6 meters, 6.5, 7. This is the typical diagram for showing a two lane road paving road. By saying this, you have a better communication. What is a single lane road, what is the length of that particular width of that particular single lane road, and double lane road, how vehicles are moving by using these side distances and middle distances. And next we will discuss this, the width of the carriageway for various classes of roads as standardized by IRC, that means Indian Road Congress. In the first chapter, we will discuss about these Indian Road Congresses, and those rules will be implemented by using different kinds of practices which were they observed in different kinds of countries. By using those as standards, they developed some kind of standards in India, and those standards will be followed by Indian people while they are traveling on those particular roads to overcome the accidents and other crashes and side collisions. Here we are having a different classes of roads and widths of the carriageways. First, we are having a single lane road. That means single lane road means mainly a one vehicle is traveling on that particular single lane road, and with the passage of small vehicles, so that the width of the single lane road is 3.75 meters. You have to mark these values. That means what is the length width of the single lane road, what is the two lane roads and three lane roads and four lane roads, like that we need to memorize all these values. When you go for a specialization in transportation engineering for your master's degree, you need to study these plans and other sectional views, and you need to develop some kind of intersections to regulate different traffic problems and mitigate different kinds of traffic problems, so that you have a better communication with these values, better understanding, so not communication, understanding. A single road we are having a 3.75 meters, but in case of two lanes without raised capes, two lanes without raised capes, that means we are having a 7 meters. Two lane with raised capes, we are having 7.5 meters. And the intermediate carriageway, we are having 5.5 meters. Intermediate carriageway means side lanes we are having carriageways to stop the vehicles. Intermediate carriageway we are having 5.5 meters. For multi-lane pavements, 3.5 per lane. If you are multi-lane means for two lanes, simply we are having 7 meters. Like that, if there is a 3-lane road, that means 3.5 into 3, simply we will get 13.5 meters, not 13.5, 10.5. Okay, there is 4 lane, we will get 4 lane means 14 meters. Like that, n number of lanes, we will get this 3.5 into n as factor for particular roads. This is the currently classification of roads lengths depending upon those carriageways and the classes of roads. First we will observe single lane road 3.75 meters, double lane road 7 meters, single lane road with carriageway, like this comes under intermediate way 5.5 meters. Two lanes with riser capes, we will get 7.5 meters. And next one, cross slope or camber. As previously we discussed these cross slopes, so mainly we will observe these cross slopes in heavy not fastly moving vehicles like races and others. These cross slopes are maintained with a huge amount to contract centrifugal and centripetal forces. When we observe, the main purpose of cross slope for a normal road is to drain the water, and secondary purpose is to contract forces. First, cross slope or a camber of a slope is provided on a particular road surface in the transverse direction. That means transverse position, not in a cumulative way. If there is a transverse means here we are seeing this transverse way is like that. Transverse direction to drain the rainwater. If this is against transverse direction means both are like a V shape. That means the entirely road will be come as a V shape against transverse direction, so that the water will be staggered on the road. If we construct against this transverse direction, the main purpose of this cross slope is to drain the rainwater. And the second point is the drainage of a particular disposal of water from a pavement is considered important because following reasons: to maintain stability and surface conditions, and the third one is the increase of the lifespan of the pavement. That means life of the pavement. To maintain stability, if there is any water is staggered on that particular road, simply the water can penetrate to the below layers. If there is a transfers of below layers, automatically the embankment will collapses due to this entrainment of water, and surface conditions also changes. If there is a water on the particular surfaces, there will be a huge amount of chance for skidding of vehicles, not kidding, skidding. And next one, it will increases the lifespan of the road due to draining of these waters. And the second point is to prevent stripping of bitumen from aggregates. That means bitumen is a waste material which comes from the petroleum industries, so that if the entrainment of water, it reacts with the water, automatically it will due to its brittle nature, it will segregate. That means splits into a number of parts due to heavy application of wheel load on that particular span, so that stripping comes due to this water entrainment and a water stagnant. Third point is the prevent slipping vehicles running with a high speed. That means whenever vehicle moves on huge amount of speed, there is a skidding of vehicles. Next point is the rate of camber or cross slope is usually 1 in n, may also expressed as a percentage. That means it entirely depends upon the width of the carriageway. That means if the width of the carriageway is more, that means slope will be decreases. If the width of the carriageway is less, that means slope will increases due to its width properties. The required camber of a pavement depends upon the type of pavement surface and the amount of rainfall. Whenever we are constructing these cambers or any other cross slopes, we need to focus on particular topography of the area. That means if the topography mainly depends upon surrounding hills and any other rivers or any other seas, that means if there is a huge amount of sea area, automatically rain will fall annually high because of these entrainments of మనకి ఋతుపవనాలు అవి అంటారు కదండి. వాటి వల్ల ఎక్కువగా మనకి ఈ కోస్టల్ లైన్స్లో మనకి రెయిన్ఫాల్ అనేది ఎక్కువగా వస్తూ ఉంటుంది. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ హిల్లీ ఏరియాస్. నార్మల్లీ హిల్లీ ఏరియాస్ డ్యూ టు ఫ్లో ఆఫ్ హ్యూజ్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ wind, rains occurred heavily in hilly areas, so that automatically we will focus on place depending upon its topographical characteristics and others. Okay, today we will end for at this particular point. Tomorrow we will discuss for another class.